What's going on, everybody? How are ya? Thank you to the latest ones who have hit that like, the latest ones who have subscribed, and the ones who sticking by. And thank you to the ones who's peeking in and just want to have something to say as far as when things go in a whole nother direction. But I respect people's opinion. But the thing is, not everybody wants to respect other people's opinion. But anyhow, Chantel Jackson, did she ever really like Nelly? Was she ever really in love with Nelly? No. All opinions welcome, of course. We just chopping it up. And y'all, if y'all really think about it, some of this stuff is like real life experiences. Now, here's the thing. We know she was with Mayweather however long. Mayweather has the reputation that he has when it comes to women. Now, some people just have reputations, whether it's a man having a reputation or a woman having a reputation, or some people just got to get how to get it. Now, if you already done had a major opportunity as far as, and I'm just going to put it like that, I feel like dating Mayweather was a major opportunity to put yourself in position. Now, here's the thing. If you didn't get it right the first time, second time, however many times, and then you have another opportunity to possibly put yourself in position. Put yourself in position, meaning to tap in, to really love that man. Now, here's the thing. If that man's heart isn't really joined and connected as you're trying to love somebody, notice I say trying, because it's hard. When you love somebody and they're not letting you in, or when their heart is possibly elsewhere. Now, again, we know how this story goes, but the thing is, for me, again, I'm just on the outside looking in. When you see some of those pictures of Chantel and Nelly, did Chantel really look happy? I know Nelly wasn't looking happy sometimes. I know that. Half the time he was looking like he was in a whole nother world. He looked disconnected. He looked like withdrawn, like the soul to his eyes was, it just wasn't fun and inviting to look at their pictures. It was uncomfortable in a way. It was like cringe, like what's going on? Her stuff was looking forced. And I feel like she was having this forced moment because she looked disconnected. She looked withdrawn. She looked like she was trying to force something that really didn't exist. It didn't exist, y'all. I don't think. I think she may have wanted to be the one. I think she wanted to be with Nelly. But when a man will not let you in because he's disconnected, because his heart is longing to be with the one, like his true love, who he wound up with, his wife, Ashanti, she knew that. But she gave him this so-called moment of, what was this? A break? I don't even know if she understood the break. Because that break, when you allow a break to come in, and just think, it's already a break in there anyhow, because the relationship just really looked broken. Moments don't lie, y'all. Some people is in their very season right now trying to decide, should I stay? Should I go? Should I continue to work at this? Some people claim, I want that person to be happy and just go on with their lives and maybe meet somebody. Some people be so stuck on thinking because they look a certain way. Now, I notice a lot of times in these comments, for those who are Chantel fans, supporters, or however, people want to claim themselves to be linked to Shantel. I'm starting to think these are the ones that have been in similar situations or themselves possibly even wanting Nelly. Okay? Thinking about Nelly. As crazy and bizarre as some of these comments be sometimes, I'm like, man, did the man and some of the people that be making comments on this channel, did the man of the love of their lives get away? Did the ones who be making some of these bizarre comments realize who they did have was a really good man? And maybe that man was fighting for that relationship, but maybe that woman couldn't see it at the time. But sometimes it's just truly not meant to be. How is it that people think sometimes that they can continuously force a situation, can force love, can force somebody to be invested in them, to really care about them, but all you have to offer is superficial? Sometimes I think people rev up in their minds because it's this other woman that they know that man truly wants to be with, but they think they can continue to just fix it. But all the time, what they need to try to fix, work on, is their own personal self-care, self-love, self-resilience, self-accountability, connecting with God. That's a big one. The Bible, in my opinion, is so enriched. It's the answers. But people are steady trying to go on with life and figure it out and thinking that they all have it figured out. And it's so many key moments that's missing. Thinking they can just continue to run when it's like you trying to direct your life, be the head of your life, and being disconnected from what life is about. God truly wants us to be happy, to be fulfilled, to have life more abundantly. But I think when we get off track at times and thinking we can figure out everything, we do more harm than good at times. Anybody in their right mind who intentionally wakes up day after day after day, continues to do the same thing and never realize that what they're doing is not working. To be in a home that's disorganized noise, chaotic, having to force to be judged like by these onlookers, like you're happy, then you go on like, now this is another world. Now I'm not saying that, this is everybody's life, but to have cameras on you because of who you're connected to, who you're dating, and you still cannot figure it out how to even become your own person in the process because you have the opportunity. Now you hanging on to thin strands because you so determined to just try to hang on when you know, again, that person's heart is connected, but you think, ain't no way they gonna get back together. Ain't no way. So I'm just gonna ride this situation out. I'm gonna collect these coins from this current reality show that's going on. And have y'all noticed that BET, now it's a countdown. We in countdown phase right now to watch We Belong Together. But Nellyville, man, the show was good. I liked it. But looking at these former clips, looking at these old clips that keep popping up just like out of nowhere, all of a sudden, from Nellyville, Chantel never looked happy. I think Nelly, I mean, he had his children there, his family. You know, he's playing into what it is, like how the show is formatted. You can tell he's a family man, y'all. Look, anytime you can have you a family man who's willing to show up for the family, and it's a shame that it has to be put like that, but people got to pay attention to who they connecting with, how they do feel about family. I ain't seen Nelly be, disrespectful, say anything out the way as far as whatever that relationship was. Because, some of these men will get on social media. But again, at that time, social media was different. It's not what it is today. But I think some men be in their emotional feelings about things and they start talking too much. Never seen that side about Nelly. Now, I think what happened was some kind of way this got turned around. Chantel, she started talking too much. She started expressing herself. She started showing up a little bit too much and trying to hang on to chase whatever this is with Nelly and Ashanti. So when people want to talk about obsession, this the wrong channel for that. Obsession is when you start to continuously send these subliminals. Say what you got to say. Oh, yeah, she tried that. She tried that. She the one mentioned the break. She the one mentioned, if it's meant to be, it'll come back. She the one mentioned about whoever is in Nelly's life will have to accept her because she's always going to have a special place or they're always going to be friends or connected. Some mess. No, because when a man is truly, truly, truly invested, he's committed, and you're the one. I understand nobody is perfect. I understand, things come up along the way sometimes. But look, forsaking all others. Chantel, I feel like she has her moments where she's, reaching out in her mind to send a lifeline. Look, I'm still here. I'm still here. Just call my name. I'll be there. I'll reach out my hand to you. Lord have mercy. Michael Jackson. Jackson 5s. She always gonna put a good song to something. But see, some of that stuff she be doing, it makes me think on certain songs. Like she's just always that person that's gonna be around, especially now because he moved on. It's so obvious, I feel, that she hasn't moved on. Y'all, it's true. As far as some people, they talk about their 20s, what was going on, what their mind frame was like. When you take some of those same moments of who you are into your 30s, 40s, 50s, some of these same women would take those moments from their 30s to their 40s to their 50s to their 60s to their 70s to their 80s to their 90s, to their 100 and something, and still be stuck thinking somebody still want them. Still ain't let go. But the thing is, I understand, like, the mind has so many thoughts a day. But can you imagine your mind just being stopped up, cluttered? No progression. Still thinking on coulda, woulda, shoulda been. But it was not. It wasn't for them. It wasn't their time. It just wasn't. It's, once again, it's obvious. So when people say, but she's so beautiful. Yeah, so is Ashanti. Yeah, it's a lot of beautiful women. Nelly, he's a handsome man. It's a lot of handsome men. Like, anybody ever dated a handsome man before? Anybody? Has anybody dated an average looking man, an okay looking man? Some people, some men, women, Chantel, she has a beautiful smile. Some men can be captivated by that smile. But again, Nelly, he got a very nice haircut. Very nice, very well groomed. Clean cut man he is. But what about when the hair starts to thin out? What about when the smile starts to fade? If veneers are involved, what if the veneers ain't veneering no more? Then what? What is it beyond the outward man? That's like totally what I'm missing here, because people will focus on, well, she looks this way. I mean, it must be I understand it's a lot of superficial women, but it takes more than looks. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But has anybody ever dated a handsome man and thought, Lord, as soon as he opened his mouth, there's no communication. There's no real vibe here. We not talking about nothing that sets anything apart to say we going somewhere with this. I understand conversation is only so much, but it sure do help. I understand being a doer of what you do say, it sure do help. I understand what comes out of your mouth and you saying one thing and doing another. I understand, like, when you spend time together and it's like, is it forced or is it natural? Like, when you got that true connection and you willing to let things be. Because trust and believe, if it's going to be a disconnect, if it's going to be a break, if somebody's heart, eyes, mind, body, soul starts to drift, because you got some women that's so stuck and thinking that they looks, or if it ain't they looks, they just feel in their head like, he ain't gonna leave. He too comfortable. Sometimes these men be looking just, for that moment, for that woman to just say, well, we just gonna break up. Some men get so caught up to be feeling sorry. Like, feeling sorry. Just trying to give somebody a home for that moment. But again, when you got these opportunities that don't come, like what she was given or what was shared with her, some of the stuff that she involves herself, she could be beyond that. Beyond that. You know how many women out here that be speaking from a point of the love of my life, what no longer was, or who I used to date, how I used to, be connected, well connected in the industry, what I'm doing now. But man, I don't know how many shoe boxes you can show in a month. I don't know what that is. I don't know how much money is in there. I'm not counting her pockets, but I'm just saying, I don't know how many unboxes you can do. I don't know how many bathing suits you can do. Now, I understand, hey, she's, again, she's nice looking because that's what y'all be saying and stuff, but she is though. But it's like, man, how many bathing suits can you put on? How much can you really promote? Then you trying to put your lines together. Then you got to speed up the tape to make it sound like you can make a sentence. And then you got to like really think. And then you got to have like a personality that people want to take to. It's like the personality that people be having to take to when it comes to her. It's like people still leaving these comments about Nelly. It's just a shame. So again, long as she putting it out there, I feel like it's always going to be something new for me to work with. These conversations, even that I be having on here with you all, it's really life. Because through a breakup, through a marriage, through life situations, people can take something. It's not always just about a Chantel moment. It's not always about an Ashanti moment. People be having real life experiences. And shout out to Ashanti and always, because Nelly, she said herself, Nelly mentioned some things. Ashanti mentioned some things. She said that it was something she had to get in check about herself. Ashanti knew she wanted to be a wife, y'all. She knew she wanted to be a mother. And it's preparation. Notice she don't have a lot of fake ones around her. I'm going to say fake ones because, this industry, whether you're a veteran in the game or whether you just coming in, life, period. Even the everyday person can attract. People be attracting some atrocious people that sometimes mean you no good. People truly, honestly, not everybody wants to see you happy. Not everybody wants to see you happy in your home life. People don't want to sometimes see people happy with their children, with their family, with their husband, with their spouse, with their other half. People sometimes just truly don't want that. And they would try to sabotage your whole situation. I think if people really had true ones that cared about them, and if they was, comfortable enough and know who that go-to person is, I think this world in a way would be a lot better. If people would open up their Bibles, if people would take time out to repent, if people would take time out to show accountability. I mean, even if, because this stuff is even still coming up about Nelly performing. I ain't gonna watch this show. Have somebody was like, how did we get in this? I didn't know we was mad. Once again, people got to think for themselves. But here's the thing. We don't know if Nelly had a moment to reflect and thought, should I have done that show? Does he owe us, you, them, him, her, an apology to say, I just want to come forward now. We are in this month and this has been how many days, how many months since I've done that. And I want to tell you, I'm sorry. No. Sometimes people can just have peace in their own soul. That's why people got to have boundaries. Not everything people need to know that they done went to the cross about to ask for forgiveness. Not everybody needs to know that. Sometimes that can just blow up. You have your own private time with yourself to get things right. What will Shantel post about tomorrow, the coming days? Will this woman be so cray-cray by the time it's all said and done once the show begins? My prediction on that is she gonna be throwing some shenanigans in the game. Because that's gonna be, the algorithm gonna be hitting. And do y'all think she be peeking in sometimes at Nelly and Ashanti to see what they got going? I mean, I got my vote on it, but I'm curious to know, do y'all really think that she do be peeking in? Do y'all think she still might want Nelly? Do you think she may have feel like, dang, I let him get away? But at the end of the day, shoot, when a man ready to bounce, he ready to bounce. And I wouldn't dare want nobody around me. And I'm trying to make something work, but it ain't meant to be. Sometimes people have kids involved in this stuff and they trying to stick around. But when it comes to dang, ain't nobody happy. What is you supposed to do? Clarissa Sheilds, girl. Oh, what you got going on? You and Papoose, Remy Ma. She got a fight coming up. I'm like, Lord, the more I see her out, the more questionable I become, because I love seeing the growth in action. I want her to keep whooping that. I want her to. I like her. She's got one of them stories where it's she's making it. But again, who you getting connected to? Sometimes these outside forces. I want to see Clarissa Sheilds win. People talking about, she act like this her first boyfriend being with Pat. And even if she is, people want to talk about, she done took a lot of blows to the head. Yeah, a lot of them have. She talked too much. Well, she do talk too much at times, but so does Tank, Javante Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Mayweather. He still do it today. Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Joe Louis, Evander, Mike Tyson, which one of them? Paul brothers, Adrian Browner, Don King, Devin Haney, Alicia Braun. I'm telling you, I like boxing. I'm so serious about that. I mean, Remy Ma, she was doing her thing for the longest, but it seemed like by the time Clarissa came along, her and Papoose started doing their thing, and then everybody got something to say. Everybody seems to have an opinion, but it's just one of them things. You know, what is he supposed to do? What was Pap supposed to do? What was Clarissa supposed to do? When they had an opportunity to meet, again, you know, I'm telling y'all, some of these women out here, they be real quick to fire off, pop up at the mouth. They think they can still do this, that, and the third, still talk to you any type of way. But then you giving them hints, look, well, I ain't got to be in it. I'm leaving too. I'm going to do my thug thizzle. I mean, it's too bad that it comes to that, but in life, decisions have to be made. How serious are we? Where we going with this? Is we just having some fun out here? But you know, all fun is not good fun. But it comes a time where people will have that aha moment and they can change it around. That's why I thank God for forgiveness at the cross, because who you are in your 20s is not necessarily who you want to progress into in your 30s. And maybe you might be a different person by the time you progress in your 50s. But how much time do we really have? That's just it. Nobody knows the time nor the hour. But when we do have a chance to get it right, when we do have a chance to be like, I don't like that lifestyle no more. I don't like what I'm doing. I want to change up some stuff. I'm sad about some stuff. I'm not understanding. And you had that moment to talk to God. I cannot encourage y'all enough to talk to God. Some of these burdens that I feel like we put on ourselves, I'm like, why? What is the reason to put burdens on yourself when there's a way to lay these burdens down? It's okay to win at life. You know, it's going to be adversity along with that. Nothing was promised to be A-okay. Once again, it's another day. Blessed to see it. Blessed to have another good day. But be the change. Design your life how you want to. But it's going to take some work. Work produce action. Produce results. I can't stress enough being happy for Nelly, being happy for Ashanti. We are the Haynes, like, #1 supporters here. Never get it twisted, but it's just a lot of complications, I feel like, went on with the Nelly and Shantel stuff that sometimes it just has to be brought up. But I hope one day she wake up and get herself together. Because if she want to be with somebody, by all means. But she got to get herself together and stop selling herself short. Get off of thinking, being oppressed by yourself. Because if you can't think beyond yourself, how can you show a caring side? How can you be progressive? How can you be positive? Because your mind is so cluttered on you. But again, it's countdown time and we happy over here.